Some new medical research might just have you wanting to put down that fork. Soda and junk food, we already know, already take much of the blame for the obesity epidemic in our country. But there are new findings now suggesting the problem isn't only what Americans eat, it is how much we eat. Let's talk about it with Dr. Ernest Patti. Dr. Ernie, senior attending physician of emergency medicine at St. Barnabas Hospital. All right, so, this is interesting because we think fast food is like the biggest plague when it comes to rising obesity rates. It's not necessarily the junk food and the fast food, it's just how much we eat. Americans are just eating too much. Why is that?
Well, in the majority of Americans, yes, it's not the junk food and the fast food, like you said, but it's really the quantity of the food that we eat. I mean, think about it. When you go to a restaurant, look at the size of the plates that they bring over to your table. They're usually these lovely, large ceramic plates, and they load them up with food. Most of us will sit down then and enjoy the meal, but overeat in the process. You know, when you go abroad, many times portion control is paid attention to a lot more than it is here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you go to a French restaurant, you probably will end up leaving hungry because we are so used to eating so much. Right. We're also eating more processed foods as well. How much is that lending to weight gain?
Well, the problem is the folks who eat more processed foods there's a certain mechanism in your body that craves more of these processed foods due to the sugar and salt content that's in it. Same thing if you eat a lot of artificial sweeteners. It tends to make you crave sugary foods. So these are things that people have to keep in mind. What I like to think of are the two Q's. You have to think of the quality and the quantity, both of the food and the exercise that you're getting. Those are two things that really all Americans should focus in on.
Yeah, and nowadays Americans are just much less active, and it really does start at a young age. Children spend more time in front of the television or on their iPads or electronic device than they actually do spending outside, playing, running. I mean, whatever happened to the days of TV tag? Well, I used to love that game. I don't think our kids even know what it is.
It's true. I mean, we're way too scheduled today, and everything is done, you know, according to a certain schedule. We need to remember, you know, you need to take time for fresh air and exercise. Even something as simple as getting together as a family and preparing the meal together. You ever notice when you prepare a large meal, you tend to eat less because the whole process of preparing it is part of the satiating factor that makes you feel better.
Yeah. There's a lot of starchy foods that we're feeding our kids that turn into sugars. Well, maybe put some more veggies on the plate. I feel like people just don't eat enough vegetables these days. They're so heavy on the carbs and the pastas and the, you know, pizza.
Well, it's true. You need nutrient-dense foods. You know, you need more protein. We don't eat enough protein.
More fiber, too.
Well,
fiber fills you up. That's another thing. Kids don't eat enough fiber.
Fiber. Fruits and vegetables have a lot of fiber. You need nutrient-dense proteins, and you also need to drink more water. That's what we need to do as well, because that also helps you with the digestive and absorption process.
All right, Dr. Ernest Patti, great to see you.
Great to see you again.
Thanks for coming on.
Much.
Kelly.